In this tutorial, we'll learn how to work with paragraphs. In particular, we'll look at alignment, indentation, paragraph spacing, and line spacing. The resume used in this tutorial can be found at the following link. In Word, any piece of text is part of a paragraph. To demonstrate that, let's turn on the non-printing characters. This symbol signifies the end of a paragraph. Now, even for the headings, which only have one word, you notice that there is the end of paragraph symbol next to it. So just keep that in mind as we work through this tutorial. Let's start by working with the paragraph alignment. To do that, let's open up the Styles panel. If we click within one of these paragraphs, we see that the normal style has been applied. Now, keep in mind that the normal style in Word is the default style that is applied to all textual elements. Anything that does not have a custom style applied to it inherits the normal style. I'll explain more on the normal style inheritance and how it may affect other styles later in this tutorial. So if you click on Modify and go to Format Paragraph, you can see this paragraph is currently aligned left. Let's change it to centered. If we click on OK and then click OK again, you'll see all the paragraphs in the document have adopted the center alignment attribute. Let's change it back to left. Next, let's work with the paragraph indentation. If we go back to Format Paragraph, under Indentation, we have left and right. Now, the right indentation is for right to left languages, like Arabic. But since we are working with English, we'll just modify the left indent. So if you change it to 0.2 inches and click OK, you notice all the paragraphs in the document are indented at 0.2 inches, including the headings. So if we go back to Modify, let's reduce that indentation back to 0. Now, there are also these special indents. There is first line indent and hanging indent. The first line indent applies to only the first line of each paragraph. So if we add this first line indent of 0.5 inches and click OK, all the first lines of each paragraph are indented by 0.5 inches. Now, with paragraphs with only one word or one line, it is also indented. But the second and third line onwards are not indented. The other special indent was the hanging indent. The hanging indent applies to all the lines after the first line in the paragraph. So if you select a hanging indent, now you see it only applies to the second and third line here, and it doesn't apply to the first line of any of the paragraphs. Same here. The second line here and the second line here have been indented. Let's remove the indents. Now let's look at the paragraph spacing. This spacing is before and after the paragraph. So if we increase that to 6 points and click OK and click OK again, you'll notice that the paragraphs have a 6-point spacing before the paragraph and after the paragraph. Since this has increased the spacing in the document, the content has flowed onto the second page. Also notice that the heading has moved away from the center of the box. This is because the spacing of 6 points before the paragraph increases the space on the top of the box above the heading. If we click in there, we notice that this has a heading 1 style applied, but we only changed the normal style before. I'll show you why that happens. If you go to Modify the Heading 1 style, its style is based on the normal style, so it inherits anything that we set in the normal style. If you don't want the heading to have that space above the paragraph, you can customize that. And here, if we go to Paragraph, you can see 6 points is applied. We can reduce it back to 0. So now this will only affect the Heading 1 paragraph spacing and any styles based on Heading 1, and not the normal style paragraphs. Now you see it is back to being centered within the blue box. Next, let's work with the line spacing. We can go to Format Paragraph again. Here we can increase the line spacing. It's currently on single. Now the line spacing is a multiple of the font size used in the paragraph. So if the font size is 10 points and the line spacing is 1.5, then effectively the line spacing is 15 points from the top of the line. If you increase this to 1.5 and click OK, you notice now that the spacing between the lines has increased, and our content has moved further down the second page because of the increased spacing. Once again, the headings have changed, since they have inherited the 1.5 line spacing of the normal style. So let's customize our heading again. Click on Modify under Heading 1 and go to Format Paragraph. Switch the line spacing back to single. And now when we update this, the heading is back to being centered in the blue boxes. That's how you work with paragraph alignment, indentation, paragraph spacing, and line spacing. Thank you.